Welcome to your Firmacore Limited Safety, Health, Environment and Quality Induction. This induction will take approximately 15 minutes, followed by a short test of understanding at the end. Thank you for your attention and participation. What we do. Firmacore Limited is a civil engineering and groundworks company operating primarily within the new housing sector. Our work includes the construction of roads, drainage systems and foundations across a range of residential developments.
Site rules. Enter and leave the site using authorised access gates only. Only enter the designated work area relevant to your activities. Keep to marked walkways and roadways at all times. Do not pass no entry signs without authorisation from site management. Appropriate personal protective equipment, PPE, must be worn at all times whilst on site. Do not enter buildings or exclusion zones without permission from site management. Observe the site speed limit of 5 mph at all times. Do not obstruct walkways, roadways or access routes. Do not move, remove, climb over or interfere with barriers or fencing unless authorised to do so. Do not operate or interfere with any plant, tools, machinery or equipment unless you are trained, competent and authorised.
Do not excavate in any area unless a valid permit to dig has been issued by site management. All personnel involved in the permit to dig activity must be signed on to the permit and fully briefed before work begins. Do not ride on plant or machinery unless it has been specifically designed to carry passengers. Do not disconnect, cut, or interfere with any electrical cables without a valid permit to work issued by site management. When working near protected trees or designated preservation areas, a tree protection form must be completed before work commences. Employers are responsible for ensuring safe systems of work are implemented for their employees. Contractors and subcontractors must comply with all health and safety regulations whilst working on site. Report any hazards, unsafe conditions, or unsafe acts immediately to site management. Follow all emergency procedures issued by site management and ensure you know the location of the site assembly points.
Carry out your work safely at all times. If you believe any task is unsafe, stop work immediately and report it to site management. Remain aware of plant and machinery movements and keep clear of operating and swing areas. The company mobile phone policy must be followed at all times whilst on site. Do not drop litter, dispose of waste responsibly or take it with you. Lighting fires on site is strictly prohibited. Smoking and vaping are only permitted within designated smoking areas. Anyone suspected of being under the influence of alcohol or drugs will not be permitted to enter or remain on site. If you are unsure about any task or procedure, seek advice or clarification before proceeding. Remember, safety is everyone's responsibility, and the person most responsible for safety on this site is you.
Exclusion zones. Firmacore Limited uses exclusion zones to prevent unauthorised access to hazardous work areas and protect personnel from potential risks. Exclusion zones must be clearly established and maintained at all times, and no person should enter or work within the zone unless it is absolutely necessary and authorised to do so.
Lifting operations. Inspect all lifting equipment and accessories before use to ensure they are free from defects, within their safe working load (SWL), and supported by a valid certificate of inspection. Ensure all lifting equipment is recorded on the site LOLA register. If any lifting accessory does not have a valid certificate of thorough examination, contact the buying or plant department to obtain a copy before commencing lifting operations.
Mixing areas. Mixing areas must always be used and maintained to a high standard. Ensure the mixing area is fenced on all 3 sides. All barriers must be securely double-clipped. Suitable blocks or barriers must be positioned at the front to prevent plant access. Appropriate signage must be displayed and clearly visible. Drip trays must be placed beneath the mixer engine to prevent environmental contamination.
Banksman. What is a banksman? Banksmen are operatives trained to direct vehicle movement on or around site. They are often called traffic marshals. Can we still use banksmen for reversing vehicles? Yes, but only if trained and authorised. There is a hierarchy of control, which places segregation at the top. Banksmen should only be used in circumstances where other control measures are not possible. What is a signaller? Signallers are operatives who are trained to direct crane drivers during lifting operations. How can we keep signallers safe? Ensure that they are trained and competent to direct lifting operations. Provide a protected position from which they can work in safety. Provide distinctive high-vis clothing for identification. Tell drivers that if they cannot see the signaller, they should stop immediately. Agree on the use of standard signals.
PPE. You are required to wear your PPE at all times when on site. This includes, but is not limited to, a hard hat, high-vis jacket, safety boots, and, where appropriate, gloves, goggles, FFP3 dust mask, ear defenders, long-sleeve high-vis jacket and trousers if entering the highway. If your PPE becomes damaged or missing, then let the supervisor know, who will arrange for a replacement. Plants and equipment. You are required to ensure the safe operation and maintenance of heavy machinery, such as dumpers, 360 excavators, and rollers at all times when on a construction site. Always. Perform a pre-use inspection to check for any damage or issues. Ensure that you are trained and certified to operate the specific machinery. Use the safety features, such as seatbelts and rollover protection structures, ROPS. Adhere to the manufacturer's instructions and guidelines. Make sure the machinery is regularly serviced and maintained. Remain vigilant of surroundings to avoid collisions with people or objects. Communicate your movements with ground personnel using signals or radios. Where appropriate, use spotters or guides when operating in confined or crowded areas. Reduce speed in wet or slippery conditions. Follow designated routes for the movement of machinery. Keep the machinery clean, especially windows and mirrors, for better visibility. Ensure that warning signs and beacons are functioning and visible. Check for proper functioning of brakes, lights, and other vital components. If any machinery becomes damaged, or if you notice any issues that could affect safe operation, report it immediately to the supervisor, who will arrange for it to be repaired or replaced. Never operate machinery that is damaged or in poor condition, as this poses a risk to your health and safety and that of your colleagues.
Firmacore Limited operates a strict zero-tolerance policy regarding the use of seatbelts on all machinery. Moving forward, anyone found with keys left in machinery, seatbelts plugged in, or sitting on a dumper while it is being loaded will receive a verbal warning. A verbal warning will result in the operative who has committed the health and safety breach being sent home without pay. Upon their return to work, supervisors will be required to re-induct the operative on Firmacore Limited standards. Evidence that this re-induction has taken place must then be sent to the Health and Safety Department.
Bucket changing areas. You must establish bucket changing areas. Ensure that the bucket changing area is fenced on all 4 sides, Chapter 8 barriers on the front only as acceptable, double-clipped, signed. All excavator attachments, including forks, pipe lifters, etc., are located within the bucket changing area. Satellite bucket changing areas are acceptable on larger sites, but they must be 4-way Chapter 8 barriered and full signage used. Do not leave buckets scattered around the site. Buried services. All services connections must have a half-filled 1-ton bag of sand placed on them. The handles are to be taped together and should poke out of the ground after backfill. Come service connection time, the bag is simply pulled out the ground, exposing the connection. Only use insulated hand tools within 500 mm of any known live service. No excavators. Prior to any excavation for services, obtain the correct utility drawings, drainage layout, and service box locations on house drawings. Cross-reference all drawings with the register. Complete permit to break ground and CAT scan working area. The site supervisor must identify services and no-dig areas to the excavator operator. Services must be positively identified where known to exist. This is to establish depth and direction. This can be done by digging trial holes or slip trenches using insulated hand tools. Vacuum excavation must be used around high voltage and high pressure services, greater than 2.0 bar. Spoil. Heaps. Ensure the dumpers ground dump at the bottom of the stockpile. Use an excavator to shape the stockpile if needed. No dumpers on stockpiles at any time. Ensure stockpiles are safely bunded and sealed. Stockpiles are not to exceed 2 meters in height unless accompanied by a temporary works design. Place no dumper on stockpile signage. If required, fence off stockpile to prevent access. Housekeeping. Safety enhancement. Good housekeeping reduces the risk of accidents, enhancing overall safety. Increased productivity. A clean, organized site leads to more efficient workflows and higher productivity. Reduced losses and damage. Proper storage prevents loss and damage to materials and equipment. Compliance with regulations. Housekeeping helps meet health, safety, and environmental regulations. Improved health. Elimination of dust and debris reduces health issues among workers. Positive image. A well-maintained construction site reflects positively on our business. We have all worked tirelessly to build a great reputation. Please play your part in maintaining it.
Further benefits are prevention of fires. Proper disposal of flammable materials reduces the risk of fire incidents. Reduced environmental impact. Proper waste disposal minimizes environmental impact. Improved morale. A clean and organized workplace boosts workers' morale and job satisfaction. Increased lifespan of tools/equipment. Regular maintenance extends the lifespan of tools and equipment. What to do if you have a minor accident? Then there are steps you must follow. Seek first aid if necessary. Alert the site supervisor. Fill out an accident report form. The first aiders for the site will be shown to you when you first arrive on site.
At the same time, you will also be shown exactly where the first aid box/station is and where the accident book is. Your supervisor will report the incident for you.
What to do in an emergency? If there is an emergency on site, you must do the following. Raise the alarm and inform any others of the need to evacuate. Leave the area by the nearest exit. Make your way to the assembly point. Contact the emergency services. Emergency exits and assembly points will be shown to you when you arrive on site.
Main hazards you will find on site: slips, trips and falls, untidy sites, manual handling, falls from height, moving plant, machinery and vehicles, hazardous substances, industrial diseases such as silicosis from cutting. All of these hazards are assessed and have procedures put in place for you to be safe on site.
Manual. Handling. Use curb lifters where practical, mechanical or manual, and where required, always undertake lifts using a two-person lifting technique. Excavation safety. Protective systems. Depending on the excavation depth and soil type, use protective systems such as trench boxes, shoring, or benching to prevent cave-ins. Safe access and egress. Provide ladders, steps, ramps, or other safe means of exit for workers in trench excavations. Regular inspections. Conduct daily inspections of the excavation site, particularly after a rainstorm or other changing conditions that might affect the soil stability. Hazard awareness. Clearly mark all excavation edges and provide barriers or fencing around the excavation site to prevent accidental falls. Falling and tripping hazards. Keep the excavation site clear of debris, tools, or other materials that can pose falling or tripping hazards. Use youngman boards to safely walk across an open trench. If it is not safe, don't do it. Firmacore Limited will fully support you if the task you are being asked to perform is unsafe.
Dust management. All cutting will be used with dust suppression, FFP3 face masks, hearing protection, eye protection, and away from members of the public. If you feel any of the following symptoms, please inform your contract manager or health and safety manager: shortness of breath, loss of appetite and weight loss, chest pain.
Overheads. Before commencing works near or under overheads, the following must be completed. Overhead cable survey conducted by the utility provider. Overhead cable survey conducted by Firmacore Engineering Department. Goalposts, exclusion zones and signage implemented. Restricted machinery for working under the overhead cables. Firmacore's overhead cables emergency procedures displayed. Overhead cable induction quiz to test knowledge on types of cable, utility provider and exclusion zones. Toolbox talk on the HSE GS6, avoiding danger from overhead power lines. Overhead cables permit filled out. Daily briefing conducted for any activities passing or working underneath the overhead cables. Perimeter inspection log completed daily.
Near-miss reporting. Near-miss reporting is an essential part of safety management on a construction site. It involves reporting incidents that could have resulted in injuries, illnesses, or damages, but did not due to chance. Safety is our topmost priority, and it involves every one of us. Near-miss incidents, though they don't result in injury or property damage, provide a unique opportunity for us to learn and improve our safety standards. We understand that in a fast-paced work environment like ours, reporting near misses might seem time-consuming or even unnecessary, especially when no harm was done. However, every near miss is a potential accident that we narrowly avoided. By reporting these incidents, we can identify potential hazards before they cause harm, and it allows us to proactively address and eliminate these risks.
Your safety and well-being are paramount to us. We believe in learning from every incident, and your reporting plays a crucial role in that process. Your keen observation and active participation in reporting near misses can make a significant difference in maintaining a safer and healthier work environment. We encourage you all to report any near miss that you witness or are involved in without any fear of retribution. Your report will be taken seriously, treated confidentially, and acted upon promptly. This is not about assigning blame or fault, but about enhancing our understanding of potential risks and improving our safety measures. Remember, today's near miss could be tomorrow's accident. Let's ensure it doesn't get to that point. Help us make our worksite a safer place for everyone.
Mental health. Men in the UK are 3 times more likely to die by suicide than women. However, in construction, a male-dominated industry, men are 3 times more likely to die by suicide than the national average for men. Construction work has a variety of pressures, from tight contracts to long hours, time away from loved ones and managing budgets, not to mention the rising costs of supplies. Additionally, within construction lies a macho culture, which prevents many workers from seeking support and help when they may need it, putting further stress on their own mental health and well-being. We acknowledge the critical importance of mental health as a factor of overall well-being, and we are dedicated to fostering a workplace that supports the mental health of all our team members.
Please speak with your line manager, supervisor, or mental health first aider without any fear of judgment. It's okay to not be okay. Please don't suffer in silence.
Thank you for your attention. If there is anything you are unsure about, or if you would like further clarification, please speak with your site supervisor or safety advisor. Please now proceed to the Firmacore Ltd site manager for your site-specific induction.